So as you guys can see, we're going to be doing a little bit something different today. We're going to be doing a murder case and a mukbang. And as you can see, I got a new microphone. So I'll be talking into that and hopefully the audio will be a little bit better. But we're having Korean barbecue for dinner. And we got some Japanese drinks. It doesn't really fit the theme, but it's fine. It's just a drink. But let's get started on this case. Okay, so we're gonna start putting the meat on our grill. So you might hear it go sizzle a little bit. Let's see, maybe I could try and get it. You can't hear it. But we're gonna be cooking in the background, so if you hear some sizzle or anything, it's just the meat cooking. But so today we're gonna be discussing the murders of Claudine, Mary Loeva, and Theodoro Teddy Gonzalez. In 1990, there's a huge earthquake in the Philippines that it had collapsed a ton of buildings and everything. And their oldest son, Seth, was caught under one of the buildings, and his dad heard him scream from the outside, so he rushed in and saved them. And after this, they were so traumatized that they wanted to go ahead and move away and start fresh, so they moved to Australia, where they went ahead and started living their lives, and the kids went to school. They were really strict parents. They wanted their kids to focus in school, not to have boyfriends or girlfriends or any extra activities. They went to school. They had to focus. Seth was really good at school. He had not passed with good passing grades in high school. And when he went on to college, he also didn't have good grades. But he would go and focus on having some singing gigs and join the choir and everything that he can. They were so strict that once they found out that Claudine had a boyfriend, they sent her away to Melbourne to go to school there so she could go ahead and focus in school and not have a boyfriend or anything. And Saf also had a girlfriend at this time that the parents did not approve of. So Claudine went ahead and got another boyfriend and started living her life. And Sav was angry at her at one point and told the parents that she had a boyfriend, which they were even more angry because they had sent her away for the purpose of her not to focus on having a boyfriend. So what she did was she told the parents that Sav had a girlfriend and that he was faking his grades for them so they won't be disappointed. So then in June of 2001, Seth was out with his friend, going to dinner, going to the arcade. They went to Planet Hollywood. And when he got back home, he walked into a gruesome scene. And I mean gruesome, there was blood everywhere. The first body that he saw was his father, Teddy, and he had multiple stabbings. And he continued to walk through the house, and he saw his mother in the living room / dining room area, and she also had a lot of cuts and stabs on her face and her chest and her neck. And he rushed upstairs where he knew that his sister was going to be studying, and he saw her also having a ton of stabbings all over her chest and her neck and her abdomen. So he tried to resuscitate them, but he did not succeed. So he rushed over to the neighbors and called the cops to come over and investigate and see the scene. once the cops had got there and started investigating, they had noticed that he wasn't acting the way that they thought that he should be acting, which in no means mean that he did it. It's just, I think that different people act differently to anything, to murders or to any dramatic thing that happens in their life. So they noticed that he wasn't acting the way he was supposed to. He said that he had tried to resuscitate them. Thank you. That he tried to resuscitate them, but he had hardly any blood on him, just some blood on the soles of his shoes and a couple drops on his pants. But besides that, there was no blood on him. Even though this crime scene was horrible, they went into investigate even further, and they found out that there was a couple of knives that were missing from their knife block, and it was the longest knife in there, and that was never found. So they continued to investigate, and they saw that the father Teddy was stabbed in his neck and in his chest and his abdomen, and it was stabbed so bad that his spinal cord was severed. Mary was cut on her face and was stabbed also on the chest and the throat, and her windpipe was actually like sliced through. They saw that the sister Claudine was stabbed also, but she was also, they said that she was strangled with a baseball bat or a bat-like weapon, which was also never found. So once they did all that, they started to question Sev to see where his whereabouts were and what he was doing. And he had told them that he had gone for a drive around the neighborhood to go find his friend's house. And after that, he went to eat dinner with his other friend, which the friend didn't know anything about what had happened. But his alibi... Oh, sorry, the meat's done. Give me 1 second. So that's so good. Oh, just ask me, I'll get it for you. Are you eating too? You're eating?
Mushrooms are ready.
Thank you. Sorry guys, this is the mukbang part of the video, so I'm gonna eat a little bit. And we have all sorts of different mushrooms and pork belly and brisket. We have some kimchi. We have some pickled radish, seaweed, some romaine lettuce. The radish, you want the radish? So we're feasting tonight. The mushrooms are delicious.
Yeah, I was super about we had rice.
Whoa. Oh, this is delicious. I have the sangria and pineapple flavor. And it's Japanese.
Here, try this.
I don't know if you can see it. And hers has actual great pieces in it. Oh, that's amazing. That is so good.
Asian grape is so much better than white.
Oh. So back to the story. The cops were feeling a little bit confused because when they had asked him where his friend's house was or what's the name of his friend, he couldn't come up with an answer. So they thought that was a little suspicious of him.
Can you hand me that plate of meat?
So after the cop starts to investigate him and question him, the story really starts to unravel. So he says that, yeah, he couldn't find his friend's house and he doesn't know the name of the friend. But then once they realized that no, he was lying, they started to question other people. And that's when two of the clients of his father, Teddy, bless you. Sorry, it was my son is sitting right next to me. Two of his father's clients, since he was a lawyer, came forward and said, we were there and we saw his car in the garage. And then he said, yeah, well, I went for a walk around the neighborhood or whatever. So then also his aunt came forward and said that she also saw the car in the garage place, and since his car was so it was so unique, it was a green Toyota Festa, not too sure, I'll look it up. And his license plates are specialized and everything. He also said that, oh yeah, I was sitting in the car because it was raining and I didn't want to get out of the car and get wet. Well, the aunt was all like, no, it couldn't have been raining because I didn't need an umbrella since I was with my son. So then he goes ahead and says, oh, well, yeah, I wasn't really there. I took a cab to a brothel. And he tells them the name of the taxi driver and the name of the sex worker that he went to go and see. So the cops go in and question these two people, and they tell him that, oh yeah, we're investigating a murder. Well, the taxi driver goes ahead and says, oh, he did pay me to say that I had driven him there. I didn't know that it was something so serious like a murder. That's why he didn't come forward earlier. So they also go in and talk to the sex worker, and she said, I wasn't even working that day. He just paid me to say that he was there. Well, that's when he really starts to get tied up, since all of his alibis were, canceled out, and they were all proven that it wasn't real. The cops went and investigated him in May of 2002. The murders happened in 2001. And he was arrested in 2002 once they done all the investigation and everything. I'm so sorry, guys. Everything's coming out. Huh?
Dip the tofu in the blender. It's so good.
Everything is coming out so good. I've had so much you don't even know. But we got, what is this? A fermented soybean paste. Doenjang. It's delicious. I ate it with everything. That was the fried tofu. And we cooked it on the grill with a little bit of doenjang, and it's fantastic. Once you eat all the meat and everything, you put the rest of your rice in the pan, and whatever leftover meats or kimchi, any toppings you have, you cook it all in there and you eat it as fried rice, and it's so good. I know I keep on saying that it's so good, but it's amazing. Let me get a couple of more meats. Get that. Oh yeah, I'll try some seaweed. I'll take that. Let me get a couple of seaweeds. Hope you guys got a little bit of ASMR there. Let me see. Something fun. So once they start questioning the aunt, she says that she was knocking at the door and she found it a little bit suspicious that his car was there, but nobody was answering the door. So she takes a peek inside the house, and she thinks she sees a figure there. They had a baseball hat in the shadows, but her son had told her that no, it was just a coat rack. So she had just said, oh, okay, well, I might just be seeing things. So once he's arrested, he goes to trial, and they found him as guilty, and he got 3 life sentences, 1 life sentence for each family that he killed. While he was in custody, they suspended all of his chances to getting any of the money, all of the inheritance, since they were really rich. Before they arrested him, he had pawned all of his mom's jewelry and his dad's cars and put a down payment of $173,000 on a Lexus, which he swore that he was going to pay off once he got his inheritance, but since he got arrested, he never got it.
How's the galbi?
Which one's the galbi? Oh, I haven't had it. Let me see. The galbi's amazing.
What's going on?
We're watching Ordinary Adventures, and they're at Knott's Berry Farm. And I guess the mascot is walking around, and he's just like this miner, and he has this huge backpack on and all his tools and everything.
I wish we had some garlic or something.
So in 2004, he was sentenced and he went to jail. A few years later, he tried to appeal his case, but because there's no evidence that he didn't do it, they said that no, you're staying in jail, so he's serving his life in jail now. Some people say that he is the youngest serial killer, or family annihilator, whichever one you choose to see him as, in Australia. They also call him the babyface killer because he had such a baby face they couldn't have thought that he had done it. During the funeral, people thought it seemed a little suspicious of him because he did the eulogy for his father, and after he did the eulogy, he started singing a song. What is it called? Give me 1 second. I have it here. I know it's by Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men. What is it called? One Sweet Day by Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men. And they thought it was really weird of him to sing it because that's not how he usually is. And he sang it without any other music. He just sang it. Thank you, thank you. So there was a lot of things. He was also a very compulsive liar. At one point, he had told his family that he had gotten cancer and that he needed money. So the family would send him money and help him. There was also this website that was found literally idolizing him. They had pictures of him and videos at his concerts and modeling pictures. You know, he had like a topless shirt to show off his abs, and he said that a family friend had made it to him because she idolized him, but it turns out that he was the one that was running the website, and he was just a narcissist all around. He was a bad guy all around. He was a compulsive liar, murderer, always wanting more money. I understand, you're an adult and you need these kinds of things, but you don't murder your family so you could get the inheritance. And at one point, when the investigation was going on, he had typed up an email and sent it to his father and showed the cops of somebody threatening his father about a possible abduction and a burglary that he had written, and the cops find out that he did it by searching, the email address and whatever to see where the email was sent from. I'm sorry guys, it's getting cold, so I have to eat. I get too into the murders and I forget that we have food to eat. So give me 1 second to eat. They said that he had killed the sister first while she was studying upstairs. He had strangled her with the bat, and they said that he did it because she had told the parents about his girlfriend and about the fake grades, and he didn't want to deal with that. And also because he wanted all of the inheritance for himself. But then I don't know when he decided, but he ended up deciding that he wants all of the money, and that's when he murdered the mom. And the mom was literally just walking into the house when he attacked her. And he waited about like an hour or so after he murdered the mom. So the sister was murdered at 4:30. The mom was murdered at 5:30, and then the father at 6:50. So he literally waited for them to get home to kill them, which I think is insane. Like, they also, once the cops had said that he tried to poison his family months before he murdered them. He tried to poison them with a poisonous plant, and the mom went to the ER and they said that it was food poisoning, and that's when he faked it and said that he had food poisoning too, so it wouldn't seem a little suspicious that she was the one that got sick. So he had planned to murder them. Once that had failed, he just stabbed them. Who does that? Well, I guess murderers do that, so it makes sense. But yeah, you guys, that's basically it. That's the murders of Claudine, Mary Loiva, and Theodoro Teddy Gonzalez. Don't let the story be about the murderer. It's about the family who got murdered because of his craziness. I know that a lot of people tell the story and they say they mostly focus on the person who murdered them, but no, this is to show that the family is also important, or the person who was killed is also important. They had a happy family. He was a lawyer, and they started doing realty, and the sister was great at school. They're important too. It's just not about the murder. But yeah, we're gonna continue to eat and enjoy the rest of the night. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know if you guys like this kind of thing, so I can continue to do it. It might not be Korean barbecue, but it might be a variation of this. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.